A Nintendo fighting game where you can beat up a Jigglypuff with Donkey Kong, while Mario and Link duke it out in front of the Super Happy Tree from Yoshi's Story. It sounds like complete madness, doesn't it? Well, it did, until 1999, when series creator Masahiro Sakurai and his team in HAL Laboratory unleashed a little game called Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64. The premise is simple. Take 12 of the most iconic Nintendo characters and put them in a fighting game. However, this isn't a title in the vein of Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Super Smash Bros. Created a simplified control scheme that allowed just about anyone to utilise their favourite character's full moveset. And because the controls are universal, you can theoretically pick up and play any of the characters. Battles are also simplified, as the player's goal is to knock their opponents from the stage by building up their damage percentage, rather than depleting a health bar. Whilst the barrier of entry may be lower than traditional fighting games, there's still plenty of depth here. Each of the 12 characters plays very differently. They all have vastly different move sets that take advantage of their unique abilities, and some characters can be tricky to master. But first, you've got to unlock them. Well, 4 of them, that is. Jigglypuff, Captain Falcon, Luigi, and Ness all require you to meet certain conditions before you get the chance to fight them. The first 3 aren't that hard, but Ness can be a bit tricky. Back in the day, I remember Ness being like a badge of honour. If you had him, you were a good Smash player. And if not, you were trying to figure out who the heck he was, and how to actually use him effectively. But enough about the characters, what about the main game itself? Well, there are 2 options, single player and multiplayer. Single player mode consists of an arcade-style gauntlet where you fight through a number of opponents to reach a special end boss. These aren't just normal fights, however, as you will encounter foes such as Giant Donkey Kong, Metal Mario, and the 30-man fighting Polygon team. There are also 3 different types of minigames, 2 of which can be played outside of the main single player mode. These serve as fun little distractions, but never really add to or detract from the experience. They're just there. The final boss then offers up a unique take on the gameplay style. You're now fighting to deplete a health bar rather than to knock an enemy off the stage. Overall, the single player mode is a lot of fun, however it only lasts about 20 minutes, and every time you play, it's the exact same fights with the exact same characters in the exact same order, making it fairly repetitive. Luckily, that's only half the game, as Super Smash Bros. Offers a solid multiplayer mode that supports up to 4 players, human or computer. There are 2 main types of matches, time and stock. A time match challenges players to get the most number of kills before the time limit runs out, whereas a stock match assigns players a certain number of lives. After they are depleted, that particular player is out of the match, and this carries on until one player is left standing. You can also set up a team match, enable handicaps, change damage percentages, and manipulate item spawning. The multiplayer mode is a ton of fun, whether you're by yourself or playing with friends, and I think the fact that I spent the bulk of my 80-hour playtime in that mode says it all. So what about the presentation? Super Smash Bros. Looks good for an N64 title. It manages to mix all of the disparate Nintendo worlds into a cohesive whole, while also keeping their unique look and feel. Characters are blocky, but also animate well and have a lot of personality, while the stages use an effective mix of pre-rendered backgrounds and polygonal structures. It's also important to note that this was the first time that series like Metroid, Donkey Kong and Kirby appeared in 3D, which was a huge deal at the time. Thankfully, everything looks right, which is important in a crossover game like this. The music is also top-notch, featuring excellent remixes of songs from each of the characters' franchises, as well as some fantastic original pieces. Favourites of mine include the Metal Mario battle theme, the intro theme, and the Master Hand battle theme. It's definitely a soundtrack that I like to revisit. So in the end, there are 2 questions to ask. The first, is Super Smash Bros. Still a good game? And the answer to that is absolutely. It's showing its age now, but I still have a ton of fun. But the question that I see most people ask nowadays is, how does it compare to the sequels? To be honest, it's a very difficult question to answer because they all feel different. The original Super Smash Bros. Is a much slower paced game than Melee and Brawl, and it has far less content. However, I still find myself coming back to play it every year. Part of it's definitely nostalgia, but honestly Smash Bros. Is just a lot of fun to play. Despite lacking the improvements of the later games, it still holds up well, and the stage designs are some of my favourites in the series. If you've grown up with Melee or Brawl, you might find this one a bit hard to get into, but if you're interested in seeing the origin of the Smash Bros. Series, or you played this game back in the day, I bet you'll have some fun. Oh, and just to say, I'm not scoring the Super Smash Bros. Games. I can never decide which of the trilogy I like more, so I'd just be assigning arbitrary numbers. Long story short, they're all great, but for different reasons. What are those reasons? Well, you'll just have to wait until the next Super Smash Bros. Review.